Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a couple of fun shaker cards as well as shaker tags to share with you using brand new Pinkfresh Studio Essentials dies. I combined those with some beautiful floral stamps, dies, and stencils from my stash to create some really beautiful results. I decided to start with some tags first. Using the brand new Essential Foldable Shaker Tags, which I am going to be using all of the time for everything because I absolutely love these. I die cut two of these from some Lawn Fawn Fog Gray cardstock, and I actually used the circle opening that's included in this set for both tags. There's the circle or the square. I also want to make mention that if you pick up the Essentials Shaker Heart dies, the small heart would fit in this as well. So just kind of play around with other dies that you may have in your stash to make different shaker windows. These are going to be flat shakers. The tags are going to be. So anything I put in here needs to be relatively flat like confetti. I am customizing the tags with some greetings for both of these. I am using some Pinkfresh Studio Thrill of Hope sentiments because these are Christmas tags that I'm making here today. And so I picked one of my favorite Pinkfresh Studio sentiment sets to personalize these a little bit. So one says, May the wonder and magic of Christmas fill you with delight. That is embossed in silver. And the other says, enjoy the wonder and gifts of the season. And that is embossed in gold. Now, the reason I embossed one in gold and one in silver is I have a ton of leftover poinsettia pieces from previous projects. I have talked about this in other videos pertaining a lot to Pinkfresh Studio because a lot of their sets, you get multiple images with, you do this like one amount of work and you end up with lots of images. And I don't always use them all. So I have leftover florals. I have some leftover foiled sentiments. On the cards, I have some leftover foiled sentiments from another project. I have linked to all of those products in the supplies below. And I also have linked to the videos where these were first seen and where you can see me create those. Because I'm not going to do the foiling on camera today because these are leftover pieces. And I think it's important to show how you can take your leftovers and make really beautiful results. Now, after I have stamped and embossed, I am going to, on the back of the foldable tag, place a small piece of acetate. This is some Simon Says stamp acetate that I've trimmed just to fit back behind the window. I use some double-sided adhesive to secure it, and then I'm going to go around my tag and apply some double-sided adhesive here as well. Now, you might notice I put some down at the bottom, but then I also put some at the bottom of the window. That is to keep the shaker material kind of up here in the window so it doesn't slide all the way down to the bottom of the tag. You can also place your window anywhere you want on the tag. I placed mine up at the top, but you could place it down at the bottom if you wanted to, and the same goes for the little square window. It doesn't have to go at the top of the tag. It could definitely go at the bottom or smack dab in the middle. It's completely up to you. Next, I'm going to take some confetti. I'm using some of my favorite Silver Star confetti here and place this in my shaker. Now, I kind of got smarter on the second shaker and I'll show you that. I only use Silver Star confetti in this one and then I completely shut my shaker. And it's so cute, you guys. I absolutely love it. The second shaker is going to feature some other confetti, not just some stars. However, I do think the stars probably float around a little easier than maybe filling it with more things, so it's kind of a good bad thing. These florals are leftovers from other tag and other card projects. Like I said, I have links to those down in the description below if you want to see even more ideas, but I love being able to use these up on these beautiful gift tags. So I'm simply placing a couple of these around the window opening. I'm using some foam adhesive to secure the larger pieces. The smaller greenery piece I will glue with adhesive. But my favorite thing, and you guys know this if you follow me at all, is that the Essential Essentials Foldable Shaker Tag comes with hole reinforcers. Two different options. I'm using the fold over version because I really love it. And then it also comes with like the standard hole reinforcer. So you can finish your tag beautifully. Now to finish my tags, I decided to take some Simon Says Stamp silver mirror and gold mirror cardstock and die cut that hole reinforcer from that to match whether I'm using silver or gold embossing. Then I'm also going to customize the twine I'm threading through my tag. I'm using the silver Lawn Trimmings twine in the silver tag. So I did the silver one first. It's a bit more simplistic. I actually did not have a larger greeting to put on it. I didn't really feel like it had to have that. You can stamp a to from on the back. I will tell you, I did not do that. I don't think I have a Pinkfresh Studio stamp set with a to from, so I will probably grab my go-to Let's Make a Tag set from Simon Says Stamp and stamp a to from on the back of these tags. But just wanted to let you know that. And another thing is these are pretty enough that I think they really could be hung on a tree. They are a little bit more of a standard tag. I don't do a ton of standard tags as ornament tags, but I think these are almost pretty enough that you could really decorate with these as well. I like to peel off my backing paper with a Spellbinders tool-in-one or something with a very sharp tip here. And then I'm placing another piece of acetate, and then we're going to go ahead and make the shaker part first. Now, another thing to note is I peel off the backing paper before I fill it with the shaker material, and that was a very conscious decision because I thought that maybe if I tried to peel off the backing paper after I had placed the shaker material on the acetate, it could potentially kind of catch and flip and the shaker material could go everywhere. So I peel it off first, and then I'm just really careful with placing the confetti inside the shaker. I know it's kind of contrary to how you normally would do it. Now I had some Gold Star confetti here. I accidentally dumped that out first for the silver tag. That's why it was not from my container. And then I'm just going to fill that. And I noticed I got one in the adhesive, so I'm just using my sharp tip on my Spellbinders tool-in-one to peel that out. I've got some snowflakes and things I added to this shaker. Just a bunch of stuff from my stash. I'm going to flip it over. And look how fun. I think it's beautiful, honestly, just like this. I think you could do a little bit more of a simplistic approach, maybe some gold ribbon at the top and then a little hanger, and that would be really beautiful, just like that. I am placing the gold hole reinforcer up there at the top, folding it over. I'm using the honeybee stamps, tweezers kind of as a clamp to hold that in place. And then we're simply going to decorate. So for this one, I am putting some foam adhesive back on the back of Joy to the World. Again, these are leftover sentiments from other projects. But all of these are Pinkfresh Studio products, and I will link to those down below. I love how it fits on the window. I like that it's clear and see-through. Really, really pretty. I even like it just like this. I kind of liked this tag every step of the way and thought it was really cute. Now I'm going to add some florals. Again, I'm going to pop them up with foam adhesive. These have gold embossing as opposed to silver, so everything on this tag is gold or has gold accents. And then we will thread through some gold sparkle lawn trimmings twine to finish off this tag. So I think this tag is going to be super popular. I'm so glad it came out now. I think you still have time to use this for the holidays. Stay tuned. I'm going to use this set for a very fun tag video I have coming up later this week as well, because this is one of my very favorite products for the holiday season. So I hope you guys have loved watching these tags. Let's make some cards. We're going to completely switch up what we're making, and we are going to be making kind of more of a Valentine's-y feeling, love feeling cards. At least that's kind of the vibe I was going for with these next two projects. The base for each of the next two cards is going to be the Essentials blanket stitched rectangles. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely adore basic rectangle dies. So when I saw these, I loved them. And you get 3 different sizes in here. I'm using the largest on both just because that's kind of how it worked out. But I really love the other 2 sizes as well, and you will see those on other projects later on. I'm also going to be using the new Essentials Shaker Heart. So right now we are going to be creating the elements that I need to kind of complete both cards. And this is a previously released product. This is the Joyful Bouquet from Pinkfresh Studio. There's the stamp set, there's the coordinating stencils and coordinating die. This is very much like the Poinsettia set that I used for the previous 2 cards as far as how you put it together. This is really how I did the Poinsettia set. I've done that in video, in other videos before, so I wanted to show the Joyful Bouquet since I have not used this one, and I thought it was really pretty, and it works for a lot of different things depending on the colors you pick. I kind of laid out a bunch of favorite Pinkfresh Studio inks, and then I ultimately decided to go the pink red route when I get there. So on a piece of smooth white cardstock, I have stamped the large floral image. You actually get 7 images in this. We won't be using the largest floral just because it doesn't fit with the particular designs I'm doing today, but I'm going to go ahead and stencil it, and it's going in my stash of pieces of Pinkfresh Studio Beauty art, all this great art I have that I can then use on cards eventually, or tags. As you can see, I did 2 projects here that utilize elements from previous projects. So that's kind of, it's great to have these because I can throw that big floral, especially on a card, like let's say a happy birthday card, and instantly I will have a birthday card. So really, really nice. I am going to then take my stencils. I've got my waffle flower stencil mat, and I am going to color in these florals. I'm going to use mint ink first, mint for the first layer. That's going to be a nice kind of bright, it's kind of more of a springy green. I know it's funny as we're doing a lot of holiday projects and things, but it won't be long, believe it or not, and we will start thinking about Valentine's and love theme projects. So I went ahead and did it, even though I would send these anytime. They are not Valentine's cards. I should definitely point that out. They're not Valentine's cards. I did them more as a hello and a love you, thank you type of card. But they have those Valentine's-y vibes and feel to them. Then for the base color for my next flower, for the large flower here, we are going to do a little coral reef. And oh, I completely forgot to tell you guys, I have a hack. So these stamp sets that are built like this oftentimes won't fit in your standard sized MISTI, not straight up and down. If you turn it at an angle, that's why I've stamped this at an angle on this half sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. You can fit your image on the cardstock in a standard MISTI, and that is how I did this. I have a memory MISTI, but I know that last time I did this, I had a lot of comments of people saying I don't have a memory MISTI. I didn't realize the stamps didn't fit in that. And so I wanted to show you a little hack you can do if you have the standard MISTI and you still want to use some of these larger style stamp sets and stencils from Pinkfresh Studio. My base color now for the pink part of the flowers is Ballet Slipper. We're just going to go in and generously color everything. I will tell you my waffle flower stencil mat is stained. That pink on there, I have washed it, and the pink inks stain it. Kitsch Flamingo is what stained it first. And then today I'm going to be stenciling with the like Sparkling Rosé and Raspberry Bliss Pinkfresh Studio, and I stained it even worse, but I don't really mind that. That is the sign of a well-used and loved tool. As long as it's clean and it's not transferring ink to anything, I'm totally cool with that. So when I get done stenciling, I always run my mat and my stencils. And today I even gave my blending brushes a bath under some warm water with just some like mild dish soap and warm water, and then I put them in a stencil drying rack to dry, which I'm super excited to tell you guys that Simon Says Stamp is now carrying that. So yay if you've been looking for it. But I let everything dry really well, but I wash it right away. So even though it's stained, it's still clean. Next up, we're going to do our next layer, and for this we're going to kind of have to combine a couple. So I have my darker colors. I may have already done the mid-tone color. So the mid-tone was Sparkling Rosé and Passion Fruit, and then my final layer for my flowers is Berrylicious and Raspberry Bliss. So that's going to be our darkest colors. Yes. Oh, look how pretty those are. Now it looks a lot darker here than it does in the finished cards. Remember that these are dye inks and that they will fade as the ink absorbs into the cardstock and dries, and it kind of smooths out and everything. Finally, we're finishing with a little meadow ink here for the layering piece on the greenery, and then the magic. One die to die cut everything. So I'm going to use the coordinating Pinkfresh Studio Joyful Bouquet die, line that up and run it through my die cutting machine, and I have 7 beautiful floral pieces that we can now use for cards. Let's pop all of those out. And here are my dies. So the base for my cards for both of them will be the new Essentials Blanket Stitched Rectangles and Essentials Shaker Heart. I'm using the largest rectangle for both, and I decided to kind of lay everything out, and I wanted to show you guys how I pre-planned my card here. And then for the second card, I'll be straight up. I kind of thought I would just do one card, and then as I was creating, I had this idea for the second card to create 3 separate shaker windows with the smaller heart, and it probably ended up being my favorite, and I'm so super glad that I went ahead and did it because it's really, really cute. So now I need to put some, or die cut the heart. I die cut the blanket stitched rectangle first, then I'm going to die cut the heart from this panel, and I have another piece of pink cardstock to go behind. This is some peony cardstock from Hero Arts. And then we're simply going to back our frame with some double-sided adhesive and place a piece of acetate on the back. Again, I'm using all Simon Says Stamp acetate here today. This acetate is heat resistant. I did not heat mine, but I do think that that is good to note in case you're looking for some heat resistant acetate. It is fantastic. So I'm going to place my acetate on the back. I probably could have even trimmed that a little smaller just to go back behind the window, but I went ahead and did it about a scant 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches because this panel, the largest die in the blanket stitch rectangle, is A2 sized, meaning it's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And then on the window, we're going to stamp a greeting from, and I really mixed and matched today, you guys. So let me make sure that I tell you the right one. This is from the Pinkfresh Studio Heartfelt Thanks stamp set. So you definitely don't need to do that. I literally went to my stash and I kind of picked apart all of the different pieces and picked what I thought went together for my cards. And I'm going to kind of play around with my florals. Ultimately, I decided 2 was enough. This Love You is left over. This is from the recent foil and stamp and die and everything release from Pinkfresh Studio. Amazing greetings. You get a bunch of them. In fact, I'm using 2 leftovers for my 2 cards today. So everything today is a little bit of leftovers. I feel like that's kind of time appropriate, I guess, since it's Thanksgiving week here in the US, and everyone will probably have quite a few leftovers this week. So I should call this my leftovers series because we have a lot of leftovers on these projects. But I don't know about you guys, I love digging into my leftovers drawer and using things up, and I don't do that enough in videos, so I've really been working to try to incorporate that a little bit more because I think we all have those things we either started or pieces left over from other projects. In the case of Pinkfresh Studio, where you get to foil multiple greetings with one pass, and so you end up with a lot of leftovers. Sometimes I have like leftover die cut pieces. The hearts I die cut from here, from the windows here. Those can be leftovers that would be fantastic for Valentine's projects coming up. So just lots of little things like that that I'm going to try to incorporate more, instead of just never doing anything with them and having a drawer full of random bits and pieces. I glued that Love You in place. It was foiled with gold. I did choose to emboss everything with gold, my florals, because I knew I had these leftover foiled gold pieces. And then for my rectangle in the back, you don't need to blanket stitch it. What happened here is this was going to be the front of the card, but I accidentally had some ink on my cutting plate and I didn't want to put it on the front because I was afraid it would show. So I actually just used it back behind. I'm just utilizing a piece I normally wouldn't. I did take a little bit of Raspberry Bliss and Sparkling Rose or Rosé to this background panel to deepen and darken it, so I have a little bit more contrast back behind where the greeting is stamped on the acetate window. And I'm going to go ahead and frame up the back of the front of my panel with some foam adhesive. This is very low profile foam adhesive. This is my favorite foam adhesive as far as foam adhesive strips goes. If you guys have been watching my videos lately where I talk about foam adhesive a lot, I literally just got my latest order of foam adhesive. Every few months, or maybe just a couple times a year, I replenish my foam adhesive drawer. So I have plenty because I was running out, but I have some favorites. You know, after years and years of crafting, you kind of develop favorites, and I love these strips. So I am just going to frame it up. I filled my shaker with 3 different shaker materials. We kind of have some like little iridescent circles, and then I have like heart confetti. So very low profile adhesive pieces in here. In fact, can you hear it? It is shaking. And I probably could have filled it with even more. And then actually the ink made it didn't stick very well, so I'm fixing it. And I wanted to show you that this happens. So I'm just taking my tweezers and I'm picking out the confetti that kind of got stuck along the bottom edge, and I'm filling it back up. Might as well while I'm here. And I even added a few extra things because I didn't feel like it had quite enough in there. We're just going to press that down in place. And now it's going to stick. And there is the beautiful shaker. Isn't that so pretty? Now, of course, you guys know me. I have to finish it with some little heart embellishments. I didn't add any to my Christmas tags. It wasn't for lack of trying. I just couldn't really find anything I liked to go on them. But I knew I had these pink hearts. And so I'm going to put these little clear, not clear, pink droplet accents on the front of my card to finish this off. I love how they look. We're even going to put some right on the acetate window. And our first card is all finished. So for the second card, as I was doing this one, I realized I really wanted to use that small heart window, and I wanted to create a trio of windows. So again, we're going to use our blanket stitched rectangle, the largest one, and we're going to die cut 3 windows. So I'm starting up at the top. I don't want any of them to line up. I kind of knew I was going to use the hello. You can see the hello upside down on my table. Oh, now it's not upside down. I thought it was upside down. It's not. So it's going to fit kind of there. I'm using it as a guide because I don't want it to completely cover any of the windows. The top one is shifted over to the right quite a bit. The second one is going to be shifted over to the left. And then the third one is just a tad right of center. So none of them line up perfectly. I love this. I have some florals picked out. I think each window is going to have a little floral accent. We have our hello, and then there's naturally going to be this nice open area where I can add some additional stamped sentiments to kind of finish it off really nicely. So I'm loving how this looks. I think this is going to be super pretty. Again, I'm going to pull completely from stamp sets from my stash. You can definitely just pick something you have on hand as far as that goes. Anything's going to really work with hello. I picked the Pinkfresh Studio's Garden Roses set. I'm placing my acetate on the back of my panel real quick. Again, it's just a scant 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I think I maybe stamped, I must have stamped my greetings off camera. I'm so sorry, you guys. So I actually stamped 2 greetings from the Garden Roses, and I stamped them with Sparkling Rosé and Raspberry Bliss on the front. So just kind of the pink tone on tone look. And right now what I'm doing is creating the shaker windows, which is what I wanted to show you. I want each window to have a different shaker material. They're all the same. They're white confetti pieces. One has white heart confetti, one has red, and one has pink. And I think that it just looks really cute. You could do this with all kinds of different colors of shaker material, whether it's sequins or seed beads or confetti, whatever. And then I'm just kind of prepping them before I peel off the backing, fill them and peel off the backing paper. And I'm prepping them with a powder tool, so hopefully the shaker material doesn't stick too bad. And then we're just going to fill them up, peel off the backing paper, and place a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch peony pink cardstock that I've again inked with those same 2 colors of Pinkfresh Studio inks, just for some nice contrast. And there is our window. And I did stamp everything before adding the foam adhesive. I just forgot to turn the camera on, sorry. Now I have foam adhesive on the back of the hello. I'm going to pop that up, and then we're going to pop up the 3 Joyful Bliss florals, or Joyful Bouquet, pardon me, florals around this. Look how pretty they look with those shaker windows. I love this. It just softens it and gives it kind of that romantic feel. So, so pretty. And then we'll finish this card with a scattering of little heart embellishments as well. Both of these panels will then be placed on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white top fold card base. I have talked about this a little bit in recent videos as well, but I just stocked up, so it's on my mind. I buy all of my card bases from Simon Says Stamp. They are pre-cut, pre-scored. There is the top fold, there is a side fold. They also sell 4-bar, which is the small, like more gift card size. I have a video coming for that tomorrow. And they sell slimline and mini slimline, and I think they're fantastic. Here is a look at all 4 of my finished projects. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these shaker cards and tags featuring brand new Pinkfresh Studio Essentials dies. The supplies I used to create these projects are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. A huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. If you would like to become a member of Patreon, please click the link down below in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.